Hi, this is Shannon.
Hi, this is Becky.
And today we're going to talk about our bass pickups. In 1996, Bill launched his P bass and J bass pickups featuring his multi-pole piece system. And it accommodates 4, 5, and 6 string spacing.
That is correct.
And we still have them in our system today, the P46 and the J45. They're all hand-cut parts. So some of our parts get stamped with Bill's stamping dies, but the J45, I have a drill fixture here. This is the J45 neck, and we have to cut these parts by hand.
Very precision cut. You have to fit precisely to make sure that the holes are matching perfectly when we do the assembly. It's pretty interesting.
So
how
the P
Bill
bass
developed this.
and the J bass are all hand cut parts. So it's an interesting pickup to make.
And that's the same direction with the P46 when we make the coils there. But of course, the J45 is in Bill's coaxial coil design, which at the same time we released the L280s in the mid 90s. So these all came out at the same time.
And the J45 come in the flush, and we also have the staggered.
Okay, so the stagger, we came out later, I say around 2000, because the flush, even though that was how we originally released it, in that era there was a increase of some of the older style radius necks, 7 1/4 radius necks. So Bill decided to do a slight stagger that would accommodate more of those, so that will work well with the modern neck as well as the vintage. But I'm noticing that there's more compound radius necks available today than I've seen before. And that's where the flush is really handy to have available without it being a custom order. So you can order either the stagger or the flush poles. But in most cases, for most modern radius necks, you can do well with the flush. Okay, and we go from there, and they're a little bit less expensive. Is that correct?
And the J45 neck is a shorter coil, and the J45L is a longer coil. So some bases require different setups. You can always inquire with us about your needs. Also, too, we will be posting the dimensions on our website for all of the P bass and the J bass, so you can work with that as well.
Yes.
And the P bass has 4 conductor, and the J bass has 2 conductor wiring.
Yes, and one thing that was recently asked, and this is important, you know, a lot of bass players do like to use some sort of active electronics, so you can use that with our bass pickups if you want to. That's one of the important things that Bill offers here with this design.
And we do have our bass filter, which is a little bit different than our Q filter. Our bass filter is 3 Henry. And do you want to talk about why a bass player would want to use that filter with his setup?
Well, I mean, it can give you so much range of sound, and it's really ideal for the bass players. I think they really do appreciate it with their equipment and what they're trying to achieve. And of course, it is passive. But in all respects, we've done very well with our filter with the basses. So it's an inexpensive device, totally passive, $24. So, you know,
$34.
Oops, sorry. No, but it's still a handmade, hand-assembled, hand-cut, and it's encased in a little nylon, a 1-inch cube cover.
It's a little shorter than 1 inch.
Oh yeah, okay, we're getting there. We'll get those dimensions on there on the website. But yeah, I think that's a really good addition if you are looking for something that's totally passive.
Okay, well, always feel free to email or text or call, and we'd be happy to help you out with your bass. And we actually have one of the Wilde bass guitars here that Bill designed. This was during the Wilde Pickup Factory. This actually has a soap bar guitar.
These were for soap bar pickups we used to make.
And Becky's thinking about relaunching that. We do also have something else that's really interesting in our bass. We still have one of the drill fixtures for, it was a telly size
bass pickup, the very first telly size bass pickup, 4-string. Actually, I think it's really a good time to release that because I think there's a good demand for some of the older type basses or vintage in that world. And Bill even saw that, 15 years ago.
Yeah, he told up
So-
for it. So
but-
we have some couple things in the works for bass.
But Bill was always, 20, 30 years ahead of his time in most cases, maybe even more. But in this case, he saw that there would be some demand for some of these older models. And so we're tooled up to make with a fixture the 4-string tele-size bass pickup.
Also, too, we do have our low capacitance cable back in stock, and it comes with 12 feet of cable, and we have the guitar plugs already pre-assembled, the push-on plugs, the exact same plugs, and the low capacitance cable is Belden, 20 picofarad per foot. So it's the same low capacitance cable, different manufacturer though.
Yeah, and this is, but these are Bill's plugs that he designed, and they're very sturdy.
Both are made in USA, and right now the 12 feet of cable and the 2 guitar push-on plugs is $20.
These are the long plugs. We will come back with the short plug, which is what Bill preferred for both pedal board and guitar. So he liked that, what he called his universal plug. That
Yeah.
was his preference, which we'll come back out with that again.
But right now we have the guitar plugs. If you have any other questions, just reach out to us. Thank you so much for listening.
All right, thank you.
Bye.